Alrighty, here we go. Everybody coming into the room. There we go, perfect. Hello everyone, thanks for joining us. We are coming to you live from VanArts, Vancouver, Mexico, all over the world, I believe, which is great. So my name is, we'll start with our introductions. So I'm Ken Priebe, I'm the Communications and Student Services Manager here at VanArts. So I am running the board here with the Zoom interface and helping to host the webinar along with my co-host and our special guests below me.
Yes, I'll go next really quickly, and then we'll get to the really important people. So I'm Patrick. I also work here at VanArts with Ken. I am across the room from Ken in our own offices doing this social distancing. I work here in marketing, and I'm also instructor in web and broadcast, but I am here to talk about the really cool thing happening at our school, which is all the cool game art students and what they're coming out with and their accomplishments, which brings us to the guests we have below.
Hi.
Thanks first.
Hi, thank you. My name is Victoria Celis. I'm from Mexico. I'm actually in Mexico. And I am the art director of this project. Arturo?
Yep. Hi, my name is Arturo. I'm from Mexico too, and I'm in Vancouver right now. We actually just graduated from the GAT program on September. So what we're going to show you is what we did on the last term of our program. And it was a really awesome project. I mean, we just did it in 2 months, and it was really great. By the way, I'm the producer, founder, and a lot of things in the project, but basically that's me in the project.
All right. Hey, I'm Anirudh Garg. I'm from India. I also just graduated with Arturo in September, the GAT program. I'm basically the tech director here, just doing whatever I can. And yeah, just let's see how it goes.
Hello. I am PB Giridharahn. I am from Madurai, and I am also staying in Vancouver. And I also graduated with these amazing people. And I also do with coding with Anirudh, basically. So we both set up all of the systems together. Yep.
Okay, cool.
Great.
So yeah, so what we're going to be talking about here in this webinar is, you know, these four guys, as they just said, they were in the same class together in game art and design, started last September 2019. They came to VanArts. And then, you know, halfway through the year, of course, with the pandemic hitting, we had to transition our classes to an online and a blended format. So sometimes students in their class were coming into the school, other times they were online, but they were still, even despite that disruption, they were able to produce a VR game as their final project. So we brought them here to talk about it. Show us what
Maybe we could start things off by asking the four of you, can you describe what the game is, the title of it, and how would you describe it in a 30 seconds or less description?
Arturo, you want to take it?
Yeah, sure. Basically, well, the name of the project is PROJECT COLISEUM, and we already changed some of things because it's an ongoing project, so we are working on it. We're still working on it, and it's a project that it's a location-based VR battle arena. So you would go to a place and then fight your friends and well, your enemies in the moment in the VR, in the physical space. So basically, in a big general thing, that's a project.
Okay. Is it fantasy, sci-fi? Like what are the influences of it? What does it look like?
It's a sci-fi fantasy, basically. I don't know if you want to add something more, Vicky.
Yeah. We'll be showing it off a little bit anyway.
Yeah, in that moment when we start the project, we thought to doing like just fantasy sci-fi, but that already changed. We will talk about later. But at that moment was fantasy sci-fi. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. And why VR? Why not a console game? Like, what was it about VR that appealed to you that this thing's got to be in virtual reality?
But mostly VR because of the immersive. Because one of the main mechanics about this project is that you use your whole body to play, basically. So you want to cast an ability, you have to move your body. You have a sword, you have to cut it like right in front of you, then you cast an ability. So VR that gives us that opportunity. Yeah, basically.
Okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah, Arturo, being a huge fan of The Matrix, he decided it was time to make it a reality. So now even you could dodge bullets Keanu Reeves style.
There you go.
Cool. Okay.
So
we
yeah,
just
we're
thought
gonna
like
be
VR
showing.
is like an untapped market, so maybe we can capitalize on that basically.
Okay. All right. And Ken, I know that you want to be able to show some of the video from this to
We
show.
will, yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
Just let me know. Let me know when you want to do
we're
that.
whetting everyone's appetite for what we're going to see.
Okay. Okay. So so that's what you made in your final term. And you mentioned something very interesting that you're still going on. But let me go back to 12 months ago when you guys first came into the program. Tell me why you wanted to take a year-long diploma for game art. What was your hopes and dreams at that time when you didn't know each of you? Maybe we'll give it to Giri. Why don't you go first?
Yep. So yeah, 1 year ago, I was looking to basically be an environment artist. Actually, I wanted to be an environment artist and also make my own game. And then I joined. I was looking around for, and like VanArts was really good, so I joined VanArts. And then in the first term, Arturo comes up to us and goes like, "Hey, I have this idea and of this project. Do you want to develop it?" I was like, at that point, I was like, "Oh yeah, sure, yeah, why not?" I was like, "It's going to be like like one of those projects. You just work on it, get it done with." 1 year later, we're still working on it. So yeah, and hopefully, I don't know like how long we're going to work on it, but then yeah, it's pretty exciting.
Okay. All right. Okay. Who else? Annie, you want to take a stab at it?
Yeah, sure. The thing is, when I joined VanArt, I just graduated from my engineering college, and I was just, didn't want to continue with engineering. So I thought, let's just go into the game arts for now. And then I basically attended a webinar for the VanArt program. Ken was there. And basically I thought, like, it seems pretty cool. Let's go check it out. And, it worked out pretty well.
Okay.
Because I met all these people. I found what I wanted to do. So yeah.
Okay, cool. Victoria, what about yourself? What was the inspiration to go into game art?
I actually started in VanArts like 2 years ago. And for personal reason, I just did my first term with GAT 33, I believe. Then when I arrived in second term, Arturo just told me like, I have this big idea. I don't know what would happen, but I will keep you in contact. And at the beginning, I have a degree and I also do a master here in Mexico. And when I did my master, I met a guy who works in game art, and it was like, boom, I want to do this. That's why I started in VanArts.
Okay. Okay. Arturo, everyone's talking about how you brought these people together here. You're the George Clooney from Ocean's 11, I guess. Okay. So what was it for you? What made you want to get into game art?
Yeah, well, for me, it was like at the beginning, as they said, a year ago, I had like this big idea, right? So I was searching how I was able to bring it to reality, right? So what I did was to search. And what I found is that VanArts had the more like complete, we could say, complete program that than the competition. So I was able to see art, I was able to see code, I was able to learn all of that in that year. So I was like, okay, this is something that I need to create my project. So I will join and let's see how it goes. And then in the meantime, like I met all these awesome people, and then we started working together, and it was great. So yeah, basically that's it.
Okay. Yeah, building on what Arturo said, it was pretty fulfilling knowing that like the entire year we learned like so much things, like some colleges, they were only teaching art or they were only teaching tech. But here we like got all of this, like from rigging to animating to drawing to whatever you name it, like all aspects of the game design like was covered. Like I didn't feel like, oh, they didn't cover this. Like there was no point where I felt like that. So that was pretty good. Yeah.
And even though if you don't know nothing about tech, like me, I'm all my career is just about concept art, drawing. Like I'm very good on that, but I don't know anything about tech. And it was pretty easy to learn, like searching a lot and probably having a lot of mistakes, but the teachers are open to just teaching the basic, or you could also talk with your friends, with your classmates, as I did. And Giri and Anirudh did teach me a lot for tech, and I just passed. I was not into tech, but even though I learned a lot and I could apply all this tech knowledge for my designs and to actually do the design like it will work. Because sometimes concept artists just imagine a lot and it cannot work.
Okay. So that's an important part. So you're talking about pushing your creativity, and then you're also learning those other skills at the same time. And then in the middle of all this, COVID hits, and you guys have to pause and go from an interaction in the classroom to working remotely, right? That was a bit of a hiccup, right?
Yeah.
So what was that like? Because that was like 3 months before you entered this big project, right? Where you had to go back to your. So what's that like when you have to work from home? What did you have to do to adjust? What was the biggest lesson you learned?
Even before like we started on this project, we were working on our group project during that time.
Yeah.
So like that was also like a big project that we took over. And like when COVID hit, actually me and Mahi, and I see him, he's also one of the attendees. Yeah. So we both were the producers for that project. Like it was, I don't know, I was expecting it to be like too hard, but actually pretty nice. The only thing we missed was like just looking out, like to the side and like expecting your friends, but now you just have to get a call to them. So it was kind of like 50-50, like some aspects of it were hard, but most of it was like pretty chill.
Yeah, I think the most issue we had was with the communication in the starting, because we didn't know how to, adjust the program into just to have everything remote, everything should be synchronized with everyone. So that at the start, like I think like a couple of weeks, we just have to get that to figure it out how to do that. And after that, we did good. We did good.
Actually, it was really cool of VanArts also to provide all the computers.
Yes, that's very nice of you.
That was very nice.
Yeah, they can.
No, because like earlier there were like the normal PCs, and then it like the remote desktop was not working too good, and like on top of this stress, there was this stress. So we mailed you guys, right? Like, oh, this is getting a problem, and you guys just gave us like VanArts' computer. Like that was really cool. Yeah.
Yeah,
it was the best.
That helped a lot.
We didn't expect to turn into a PC Uber company. that was all.
I got to know Vancouver very, very well. I got to try a lot of neighborhoods I'd never been in before.
Well, yeah, I'm glad it worked out. Okay, so then you guys are working remote, you're doing your assignments, and then the last term hits, and then you want to make this project. So maybe talk a bit about how did it start off? I mean, were the first meetings online with Zoom first, and then you had to do like sketching this out? Did you have to have everybody together with that?
We have some slides of their early concepts, which we're going to show in a little bit.
Okay.
We'll probably, we can ask that, maybe we'll get to that part.
Okay, then let's hold off on that then. Ken, do you want to ask anything right now too?
Well, I just have a few slides to kind of lead into and some visual stuff.
Go for it.
So first of all, those of you in the chat room have already been telling us, a lot of you guys telling us where you're from, which is great. A lot of people from Mexico in the chat room watching us tonight, and from India, from Brazil, from Canada. That's great. So if you're watching, those of you watching on the Zoom call, feel free to introduce yourself. Tell us if you're a high school student, a college student, tell us where you're from. And you guys can use the chat box to ask questions to our team here as well. So if you have a question, throw it in, and then we'll moderate a Q&A towards the end. We're basically going to show you guys some behind the scenes stuff of their game, so you can actually see what the game looks like, and they can talk about how they made it and all that kind of stuff. To give you guys an idea of who VanArts is, obviously we're a private college up here in Vancouver, BC. These are all the different programs that we have. So we do visual effects and animation, in addition to game art and design, which is the program that these guys all took and graduated from. We also have photography, we have web development and design, broadcasting, and acting. And if you're interested in any of those things, you can always join us for another webinar, later on between now and the end of the year, and even into the new year. We're going to be doing more of these webinars talking about the other programs and other aspects of the school. Every program is 12 months. So what these guys did, it was a very intense 12 months of study. We have start dates in March and September every year. And so those are the start dates that you can start. The newest thing we have at VanArts as well, and we did a webinar about this last night, maybe some of you guys had joined us for that, is that for the game art program, which these guys took, as well as our visual effects program, and also our web and design program, we have a fully online version now of these programs as well. So you have your choice of either taking it completely online without having to even leave your home country if you don't want to, or you can do what these guys did and actually move to Vancouver, be physically here in the city, and some of your classes might still be online, but others will be actually in the classroom. So it'll be a blend of you'll actually get to come into the studio and or into the school and use our studio space as well if you need it, which these guys used, and you'll see that them playing around in the studio with the VR, which is cool. So so the game art and design, again, the program that these guys took, focusing on 3D modeling and game production. So the students get to create their own game levels from scratch and also as a team. There's life drawing, mobile console games, concept art. What was your favorite part of the program, you guys? Besides the VR project, because that's what that's obvious.
I mean, for me, learning Unreal, it was awesome because I didn't know Unreal before this, and it was great to get into it. I loved it.
Unreal Engine, hands down. Yep, favorite part of, like, anytime Unreal Engine class comes, I'm like, yes, best day ever.
The thing is, with Unreal, it basically binds everything together, right? So it has art, it has modeling, you have to know everything to actually work in Unreal properly if you want to make a game on your own.
Unreal is super fun to hang around with, yeah.
I mean, I don't think Vicky has the same thoughts as us.
No, I hate it. I don't hate it, but it was not my favorite for sure. For me, all the drawing classes, all of them, human draw, art direction was fun, concept artist, character, environment, design, all of them. Also texture and environment was really fun.
Nice. Cool. All right, so what we have here is your actual game. So let's take a look. We'll let this play. It's only about a minute long. It's basically your graduate reel for your group project. Mm-hmm. So we'll take a look at the game itself, and then you guys can tell us a bit about how it started, as Patrick was asking for. There's all the roles that you played, the credits.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let's go back to the question that Patrick had. You want to ask that again, Patrick? You're asking about like the early stages.
I just want 4 people made this. That's crazy.
I know.
In 2 months.
Yeah. Actually, that's even a better way of humble bragging. It's crazy how crazy. Okay, so how did this thing? Okay, you guys are working from home. You've been doing this for 3 months. You're ending your final term. Now you got this project you're going to work on. How did this hatch? How did it start off? Were you completely online first and assign roles? Did you have to rapidly develop it? What was it like for the first initial few days when you started doing this?
Arturo?
Yeah. Yeah. For the first days, it was like, because as I said, I had this idea, right? When I joined the VanArts. So at first I had to pitch the idea because we've been working for 8 months already, like when we started working on this. So I knew them. So I had to sell them the idea first, right? So we had some meetings and I started showing them the ideas and the whole mechanics, and even with some teacher, they gave us some advice on how to keep moving with it. So, and we modified some things and they said like, okay, I like it. And they joined the project right away. And we started working because we didn't have like any time, right? So yeah, I don't know if you want to add something else.
Yeah, the thing is, we didn't really have much time to think of much because we just, we had the idea, we kind of knew where it should go, and we just started working like, block by block. Like we will start with this. If this works, then we move on to the next one. If this works, we move on to the next one. But also the 3 blocks are working at the same time because each person has their own part to play.
Yeah, we started rapid prototyping. So we actually divided, right? So because one of the major things for us, for me and Anirudh personally, was the multiplayer part of it.
Yeah.
Because we had never experienced how multiplayer in works in VR. So we also had to learn a lot of stuff at the same time while we are developing this. So we actually divided up. So like Arturo was developing the sword guy's mechanics. I would develop the gun guy, and Anirudh would work on the multiplayer. And then whenever it deemed necessary, we would test each other's mechanics out or like switch roles, like work on something and then come back. We were actually working at home, and then we would meet at least one day in VanArts, right? We would meet like once in VanArts, test out everything, and then go back home again, and then work the whole week home, and then meet back in VanArts again.
Okay. Now, how did you guys pick your roles? Was it, did you have to assign, or did you have strengths, or what was it like? Did somebody get a role that they didn't want to do?
No, I think it was very natural because we all are very good in just one thing, or maybe in 1 or 2 things. Like I cannot do any tech, and they know it. So they even ask me for do it. So we just take our role in the project a very natural way.
Actually, we've been doing a lot of game jams from the start of the project. So we don't even have to communicate like, oh, can you do this? We know that he's going to do that or she's going to do that. So at this point, it's just like, okay, just keep on doing. We formed like our own little studio at this point, because yeah. So it's like assumed, like if you have a doubt, you know who to go to.
Yeah, that's the biggest thing that stands out to me, because I mean, to pull something like this off, you really got to rely on the other person being able to do their share of the work, right? So that the coordination of itself kind of blows me away that you guys were able to do all these different roles and integrate it so well. So okay, let me ask you this just really quickly. If you had to describe what the hardest challenge was for this, what would it be? And it's probably a different answer to each of you, but what was the obstacle that you had to overcome that you're looking back now, you feel was like the biggest one?
I mean, for me, I think it was 2 things. First, well, in the general project thing, is that trying to land what we wanted to do, like, because we wanted like create a big project and do everything, right? So try to land in a feasible project, to do it a feasible project for 2 months that we had. So that was I think for me was the hardest part. And more in the tech side, the calibration, at least for me, the calibration part, because we wanted to combine the physical world with the virtual world. So that combining that, it needed a lot of thought. So it was that for
Actually,
me.
that
It
was the
those
fun
two.
part of the
This
project.
picture is-
Yeah, that was a fun.
Yeah,
But it was,
that's the picture.
This is the hardest
Actually,
part of
fun
when-
story about that. Yeah, we actually went through so much. So basically, the main point of this calibration right here is when you touch a table in the real world, you should touch something in the virtual world also. So you get this 4D kind of an effect. So to do that, you have to match both like the physical and the virtual location, right? So me and Arturo, we like researched. Actually, we tested it out. We not just like thought about it. We actually did, like, there were so much iterations we went through. And in the end, the solution was so simple. We were like laughing when he figured it out, actually. Arthur was like, okay, how about we just do this? And I was like, damn. And all we had to do was place the VR. Cause so what we were thinking of, like, what if we wear the VR, go in a corner, make this pose, yada yada yada, make this too complex. And then Arthur just goes like, okay, what if we just place the VR on a table, make the same position in the VR and just calibrate? And I was like, bro.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. And by the way, this image that we have here, it's the classroom. We mapped the classroom that we were in.
Yeah.
And this is like the virtual version of our classroom. So
It's a
yeah.
block out of a classroom.
Mhm.
Yeah, a blockout. Yeah.
Great. So people are killing themselves inside of a virtual classroom. Okay.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was fun. I mean, we had to get rid of
More
some.
of a teleportation place. So you go there, you pick up your weapon, then you go to your battle arena.
Yeah. It's a fun new way to settle your bets.
Okay. All right.
Who did this work with the designing the weapons?
Gary.
Uh-huh.
No,
What?
just kidding. No, obviously Vicky,
I was
because
like, wait a
she's the
minute.
art.
I didn't do it.
No, I mean, it was all the concept was on the hands of Vicky, and as you can see, she's very capable of.
Amazing artist.
So much work.
Hands down.
And
Like,
much
it's
work.
so amazing. You go to Wiki, you have something in your head, right? You go to Wiki and you're like, I have something, like, I don't know, it's like this white black gun. I want these laces. I show her 2 concept art. She'll come back one day later with exactly what you need. And it's like,
5 iterations of this 31.
are you reading my mind? How do you even figure that out? She's amazing.
You're very
on how
good
she pulls it.
explaining.
Yeah.
Because sometimes the people are not very good explaining and it's harder. Yeah.
Gary is very good at explaining. He can go on and on.
Yes. Yeah, I did all the concepts, but all the mechanics and all the things that the concept should do, it's an Arturo, Anirudh, and Giri work. So they, as Giri said, they just come to me and say like, okay, we want this. A gun with different attachments, and we'll put the bullets for the side and something like that. So I start with the first little concept you can say in the corner, and they said like, no, it's too alien, too weird. So something less weird. So I did a lot of iterations. Then they and I choose which parts are better to the concept, to the idea, to everything, and we just start the iteration of the attachments. I think, answer your question. I think the harder to me was doing the faster possible, because they start to do the tech part 1 month later than I started do the concepts. So I did everything in 1 month.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Actually,
mostly
if I
because.
may-
Sorry.
Go ahead.
Oh, mostly, yeah, because in this project, as you can see, it's like it's very tech. It's very oriented to tech, because we didn't had any idea how to bring the virtual and the real world together, right? So we wanted to test some mechanics first and then come to the art. And fortunately, we were able to find mostly Vicky, because she was, as she said, she was really fast with it. And yeah, that was mainly because sorry.
No, go ahead. Yeah.
Mostly the concept came because of the mechanics that we already had. So yeah.
Okay. So the concepts were informing the mechanics, and it was a bit of a circular process of that going around. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So then,
actually the project, as I was like saying, it's like a double-edged sword. The thing is, the project, like the idea is so unique and nobody has ever done it before. So it's kind of a boon and a bane, because a boon is like, since nobody done it before, like it's a new entry to the market. The bane is there's nothing to research about. So if me or Anirudh have a problem, there's nobody to answer to. We have to figure out the solution ourselves.
So let me ask you that. You just said there's nothing like this in the market. Be more specific. Why is that the case? What is unique about the Coliseum project?
Yeah, actually, like building on like what Arturo said in the earlier, like we have, actually this is taken from Arturo's pitch only. There is so much VR experiences. So for example, what was that?
The Void?
The Void. Yeah. So you just wear the VR. It's 5 minutes. You do it just once or something like Ghostbusters. You do the experience and done. But there is no actual like game, like with actual progression stuff that you go back again and again. So that's why I wanted to develop something which does that. So like how you just hang out to play soccer, you'll hang out to play Coliseum one day. That's kind of like the goal. Like you just like, oh, it's Saturday evening. All right, guys, time to go to Coliseum. Just hang out there. Drop some games.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what about, so we talked about the concept art. What about the gameplay? How does this evolve as you're building this thing rapidly?
We have a visual for this as well, which I'll bring up.
Okay.
You can, while that's described. So you guys have a YouTube channel, which I'll paste into the chat if any of you guys want to look at it later. Oops, hold on a second. There we go. And then let's bring in, while you're talking about that, I'll bring in this video. And you guys can narrate it.
Main inspirations for us was Valorant. I don't know how many of you play Valorant here. I don't know. Can you like please go back to the gun skin one more time?
Oh,
that gun skin that we actually made, it's actually inspired from the Prime Vandal skin from Valorant. So actually, me and Arturo, we were looking at like Valorant concepts, and I was like, oh, this Prime Vandal skin looks cool. Do you want to make something like that? And then we went to Wiki. We were like children with like ideas. We were like, Wiki. How about, can you make this, Wiki, please? And then Wiki just draws this cool concept, and we're like, nice. Yeah, that was inspired from Valorant. Actually, a lot of our inspirations is from Valorant and League of Legends.
Okay.
Riot games, basically.
Yeah. We had to do test games of Valorant to research about it.
Yes, that's research.
That was homework, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Actually, when it hits 9 p.m., we shut down everything and we were like, okay, Valorant time. And we actually play Valorant 9 to 12. And it's part of a research too. As much as we joke about it, we actually learned a lot of stuff from Valorant. We were like, oh, okay, they did this like this. Oh, this is how it works. And Valorant is also made in Unreal Engine.
Okay.
Yep.
So you see how everything is optimized, basically. You see the textures are there. It's so simple, so modular, everything, that it takes a minimal amount of capacity on your system, and it can still run very efficiently.
Yeah.
Like the details you see on the gun, they're all just normal maps. When you just turn the gun around, it's just flat, and you see how they did it. So yeah, you kind of learn from that.
Yeah.
You were saying.
Yeah, I just want to add something. Could we go to the other one, the one to environment and the
this one here?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah.
At the beginning, we was thinking like, okay, we're going to touch the table in the classroom and touch something in VR. So all the idea of the environment at the beginning was to have like this small arena, because we have a small room to play, and have a big environment to have this experience of we are in another place. So we start to do these concepts, but I believe it was 2 weeks 2 weeks before all that, we just start to thinking like, okay, maybe we could cheating a little bit in the trailer, and actually all the environment we did and all the trailer we did is little bit cheating. We never be able to do it in real, also to have the environment and to play, because we don't have time, and we should have something to show at the end of the term.
Mm-hmm.
And we realized that the most of the trailers we saw, or we have, it's cheating. It's completely cheating. So we decided to do the best trailer we could do it with all these tricks.
Because we wanted to get the vision out. It's like, this is what we have in our mind. This is what we have. So even though we had to like do something like cheating for the trailer, we still had to, because we still have the core mechanics. So like this, the core mechanics work absolutely perfect in this like level, the blockout level. But we didn't have enough time to polish it. So we were like, okay, just put together something. We just want to showcase people. This is what we have. Are you guys interested in it?
The only reason why we needed to do that was because the VR couldn't handle the amount of process or the amount of textures that was going on. Otherwise, everything is working properly.
Yeah.
The issues with the hardware than the than the softwares, because it couldn't handle the amount of information it was going, so it was started lagging. So it's kind of like PC VR games, but we just wanted to have it like on the headset, but it wouldn't work out that way.
Yeah, we realized that we need a lot of money or a lot of computers to make it. So we just want to show our vision and what at the end, what we want to have. That's why the trailer looks like super amazing. But in real, we could do it just in a smaller environment. That's it.
Okay. All right. So then, Ken, what do you wanted to show a little bit? Yeah. You want to go back to the videos?
We have a video, like they said it'd be good to show these dev diaries, and we'll just let this play with the sound off, and you guys can walk us through it and give us a visual sense of all the steps from start to finish. So there's the.
This is a battle arena, basically. Our weapons.
Yeah, our weapons.
That's Arturo teaching me sword. So basically for the trailer, we had to do these shoots, right? So the live action shoots. So Arturo actually took sword classes. So before even he started working, VanArts, he was working on this project way before, right? If I'm not wrong, Arturo.
Yeah,
You took shooting classes too, right?
Well, actually, we did shooting classes.
Yeah, so they did shooting classes. Yeah.
Yeah. The point was the point was to learn everything, because with this Project Coliseum, we had a lot of iteration actually in this project, but this one was the best one that we have. So yeah, so I was teaching Giri in that one how to move with the sword, basically.
Yeah, that video you saw, that's us testing out how it would feel like with VR. So we want to just check out movements, like, okay, if I'm a gun and you're a sword, how would we fight? So we would go to the photography room and have a hockey stick and like a Nerf gun from Dollarama or something, and we would just test out, have all these cool sound effects, and we're like, oh, I could block like this. Oh, what if I throw the shield down? What do you do? In fact, one night we were actually like stuck on like one of the mechanics or something, and Arturo and me and Anirudh, we got together and we were like, okay, we'll assume the role. You are the sword guy and I'm the gun guy. When we actually did like step by step. So I was like, okay, I will now move forward and hit you with the grenade. What do you do? And Arthur goes like, okay, I'll pull up this shield and I'll attack you with this attack. What do you do? So we just went back and forth till we figured out what mechanics we needed, what mechanics we didn't need. And we went back to the project. That, what you saw, that little tennis thing was what Anirudh and me
started with the multiplayer, basically.
Yeah.
That was for testing.
The multiplayer, so how would you connect two PCs to have a multiplayer game? So
that's me figuring out bugs
and replicating.
not real bugs, like bugs in the game. Yeah.
Like one of these colliders wouldn't work, so I was like, okay, what the hell? I could just use the VR, go underneath the level, see what's happening, and I was like, oh, okay, there we go. That's the problem. And in that video, I'm actually screaming, oh, I found it. That's the problem. The collider is not working. Actually, yeah, if you guys have like time, check out the dev diary, because we go like more in depth on how like stuff works and stuff like that.
Well, this is really cool, because you guys, you're not required to do behind the scenes, right? You're just supposed to make the project. So this is actually all you chronicling what you're doing as you do it.
Yeah, I love doing this kind of stuff. So anytime something happens, I'd pull out my phone, start recording. Like, oh, right there we go. Hello.
That was basically the first time we were trying to do it in the real world, to see if you don't bump into things, basically.
Yeah, Arthur is actually using these tracking points, the calibration you saw. So Arthur is like making these little cubes all over the environment. And this is going to be turned into the... So this is basically a watered down version of making point cloud. So if you guys have like experience with like lidar sensors and whatnot, they do it automatically for us. But in this, we are manually placing all the points we need and then developing a 3D environment from that.
Wow.
Yeah, this covers how we made. Yep. So that's how we use the whiteboard. So we remove the projector screen and we project the projector on the whiteboard, and then we would draw on top of things. So it was basically kind of like a Photoshop, but in a meeting. That was really fun.
Yeah,
So we could just
because we wanted to check the scales mostly.
Yeah. So the gun on the board is actually to scale. Yeah.
Wow. And that's you up in the studio space.
Yeah.
Are you mapping that area out too as a level, or are you just using it for free roaming?
That one, it was just for free roaming. It was to test some things, but as we had more time in the classroom, that's why we decided to make it in the classroom, to map the classroom.
Okay. All right. And there's all your social media that people should be following. So, okay, let's talk really quickly about that. I don't want to run out of time. So you finished the project and it's for a mark, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So can you say what you got?
I don't remember.
The mark?
Was it good? Were you happy?
Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
I mean,
we were happy with the mark.
It was good, but we were too into the project already that okay, we forgot about the marks and that stuff. But because even as I said, teachers gave us a lot of advice, and they were very supportive with us. So
okay.
Yeah, that's actually like the good one of the brighter side of the education, like having here, because even our assignments, they don't force you to go like, oh no, you have to submit concept art. They're like, oh, if you want to do environment modeling, you can submit environment modeling as a submission too, because if that is more comfortable for you, because they're mostly testing what you can do or want to do. Like obviously you'll have some assignments where you compulsorily have to submit a concept art, because otherwise it's just like skimming through like the learning process, right? So, but for the final assignments and stuff, because they know for a fact that you've learned all of this, now it's up to you on what you want to develop more. So if it's Vicky, she can do like concept art. If it's Anirudh, then me, like we could do like coding. And if it's Arturo, he can do like 3D modeling and coding and whatnot. So we have that freedom also, and we can choose on what we want to submit. So that we don't have to spend time doing the stuff we don't like.
Okay.
In term 4, you can choose what you want to do. And actually the classes are there. If you want to learn it, there are, but they, as Giri said, they don't force to do it. And for us, we talk with the professors and said like, okay, we have this idea, we are working in this. Could I present this like my demo reel? Because otherwise I will not have time to do it, but I really want to do it. So the professor was pretty nice and said like, okay, you could do whatever you want, just at the end have something to show, and that's it.
Okay.
Yeah, if you guys join Game Art, you guys will love Ismet.
yeah.
that he knows he has so much stuff inside him. He can I don't know, like Mahi, he always says like, dude, Ismet feels like an elder version of you. Because if he enters a topic, he'll like go into detail in a topic, like he'll explain you, okay, this is how that works. Like I've never learned cryptocurrency until Ismet told me about cryptocurrency, because he was giving us ideas like, what if you guys like embed cryptocurrency in your project, then that could give like an incentive for people to come play and stuff like that. And we were actually looking into those on how we could, because Thera TV is a streaming platform which gives you cryptocurrency for watching streams. So he was like, why don't you host there? And he was giving out all these ideas, investment ideas and whatnot. He was really helpful.
Ismet being one of the instructors of Game Art.
Oh yeah, sorry.
Basically, made us in contact with the investors. He tried to promote our game as much as he could, and he was very, very helpful.
Yeah, he actually called up one of his friends in China and set up an investment meeting with her.
Wow.
Because he was so into the project, and he sent out to like multiple of his friends, like 4 or 5 people, right? He sent it out like actual investors.
All his friends, even one of his financial friends, where he could see if this was a financially successful project.
Yeah, and he was the president of Capcom, if I'm not wrong.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
So yeah, he worked on.
He always tried to help the to us, and also if you have idea and he like it and he think it could work, he will push it you until you have something to show.
Yeah, that's right.
Cool.
Yeah.
So, okay, really quickly, what's going on with Project Coliseum now? You guys are still building this, right? You're still working on it.
Yes,
Yep.
Yeah, totally. We had to pivot some ideas, and so we are working, and we wanted to give like a little bit of a step back, not and rethink all of it. So we are working on it and creating new stuff every day, even though because of VanArts, now we know how to work on online.
Yeah.
So even though Big is in Mexico, we are able to keep working. So, and yeah, so there's gonna be a new updates coming soon. So yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, the Discord link I gave to Ken. So you guys can join the Discord server and we'll be updating stuff. If you guys have questions, you can always shoot there. Even pitch ideas. I mean, if you want something to see something in Coliseum, it's like, hey, what if you, and like, yeah, if it's cool enough, we'll, yeah, we'll consider it.
Mhm.
Okay.
There is a question in the chat that we have already from someone asking, you know, how does taking classes online change this whole testing process? Now, obviously, you guys had the advantage of actually having a space to meet, but you did a lot of this work online as well. So how do you think that continuing online is going to change how you go about it?
I don't think
Yeah.
it will affect it very much because we still will developing everything and we will still have 1% testing because the experience, the gameplay will not change if depending on the location, and because we know how to basically coordinate with each other and know how to work with each other very well, I don't think it should hinder us very much.
But testing process, if you mean how the physical like stuff would work, that actually goes in line with what Arturo told about the pivoting. So we're actually right now we're experimenting with a lot of cool stuff. So we are actually like trying out how can we bring in like first person but in like a cyberpunkish kind of a world but in VR. So we're actually trying out a lot of cool stuff. So right now we are back to the R&D phase of it. So we want to see what works and what doesn't before we kind of like lock down an idea, because we don't want to lock down an idea, develop it halfway through and be like, you know what, no, this is not working out. So we didn't want that. So we are just like whatever ideas become, we're testing, we're like rapid prototyping it as you like how we did it. Because right now we know, okay, this is how the multiplayer works, this is how the physical works. So now we're taking like a step back and then building more onto what mechanics would be fun and stuff like that. Actually, Arturo can add more to it.
Yeah, totally. But also it depends. Well, most going more in the question that testing. This project is about physical space, right? But most of the video games, they don't require that, right? So this project in the testing side, it was we needed to try it and stuff. But even if you want to create a video game like just for PC, there's no issue there shouldn't be any issue in the being online basically. So yeah, that's and that's part of it, because right now, as Gary was saying, we are creating both. We're creating one game for PC and in complement a game in VR in the physical space. So we will have both of them. And right now, now that
Again,
we know
it's
how
very
to work
experimental,
online,
yeah.
now that we know how to work online, it's going in a good pace, I think. So yeah.
Okay.
There's another question in the chat. Says in the gameplay trailer, you guys were using 2 Oculus Quests, and the question is, how are you able to afford 2 VR headsets? Were they sponsored by someone?
Well, yes, one was sponsored by our friend Salman.
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
actually, we had like school gave us one.
Right. Yeah, I know
But,
we have some on.
and you gave us one, but that one it was wired, so we needed one that it was wireless basically.
Yeah.
Okay.
So one of our friends, luckily for us, he had one, and I bought another one. So and we were able to play with them. So yeah.
Cool. All right. So all of you guys watching and listening, this has all been really, really great. If you guys have any other questions at all, I did put a link in the chat to the Discord page, which these guys mentioned. So if you guys want to keep the dialogue going and ask these guys more questions, there's also a link to their YouTube channel, which I guess you guys will still be adding to that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, we're.
Yeah, now I'm thinking how to make Dev Diary episode 2 whilst being in the house. So that's kind of a challenge. That's another challenge we have to overcome.
Oh yeah, because you guys are, you know, you're free from VanArts, and now you have to find your own your own spaces.
Yeah, we were actually throwing around ideas like, what if we tell VanArts to give this room to us only forever? And we were just like, what if we make this room our room like forever? And we was like, bro.
You know, I think there might be something there. You should talk to Ismith and see if we can arrange something. So if you guys need some space to come down and fool around, you can still.
Yeah, that would be
I think
great,
that's a good idea.
I
I have no problem with that. So I think if you want to do that, we can make it happen.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hanging around in
so
VanArts is a total.
Yeah.
Actually, the last day of VanArts, I started crying. I was like, I can't leave. Actually, Arturo, he hugged me. He was like, it's okay. And I was like, because we spent too much good memories in that room. It was hard leaving. It was like tough. I was like, why don't you just keep going on for like 2 or 3 more years, please? And it was like, nope. Like, you have to accept the reality. It's done. Gotta get out. I was like, oh no.
That's great.
Yeah.
Okay, let me ask you one question for each of the 4 of you. If you could travel back in time and talk to yourself at the very first day of classes and give yourself a piece of advice, what would that be?
Start learning C++.
Never do inverted gravity. At this point, it's kind of a running joke now. Yeah. Actually, to be honest, I would say nothing.
Yeah.
Because whatever happened was beautiful. Like, in a way, I don't know how to put it in other way. Like all the friendships that happened, all of the hardships, like challenges, all the fun. I wouldn't change anything, to be honest. Everything was almost perfect.
No, me neither. I really happy because I should leave the first time and join in this group. Was amazing. Was the best thing that happened. But I have advice to those who want to go to VanArts and study game art. Be prepared, because the game art is hard.
It's the toughest. Yeah.
It's hard.
It's intense.
You should be open to work all the day and probably be mad with the computer because it doesn't work or something. But you always should try to be better, because the program is made that you will learn fast.
Exactly.
And you will learn in the way you are doing everything. So be prepared. It's a very good program.
It's going to be super hard. Yeah.
But it's hard, and you should be open to work all the day.
It's like playing Dark Souls with the keyboard and mouse. You can try it, but it's like you have to give your 100%.
Yeah.
Basically, you can't just like, oh, it's Friday, all right, I'm going to go out partying. Like you can do it obviously some Fridays.
It's Sunday, you should be there.
Yeah, you can't go like every weekend, like out, okay, Friday, all right, I'm going out. Nope. Your assignments will be like, come back, it's time to work.
Yeah, at least the first 3 terms, and the 4th one, you could chill a little bit. But for the first 3, you will be there at 7 a.m. and you will leave at 12, because it's hard and you will learn. For sure, you will.
It's like a bell curve, actually. It like ramps up slowly from the first term. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yeah, it'll like slowly ramp up. Second and third, it's like intense, like to next level, and then 4th term it'll come back down again.
Yeah.
Like.
First term, it's like it's just learning. It's kind of easy going, relatively easy going. Then second terms come around and like, I don't need sleep.
Who needs sleep anyways? Sleep is for the weak.
And when third term comes around, when was the last time I slept?
And that is a good thing. Like, that's not complaining. That is a really good thing, because you're like super into working and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, and it goes like that. It goes like really fast. Even though you, as they say, you don't sleep. you enjoy it. That's the thing.
Yeah.
You enjoy it a lot. And
Yeah.
as they say, it's really intensive, but really intense, but it's a really good experience because I really enjoyed it.
I mean, I think it's time to, I mean, we are out and our grades won't get affected anymore. There were so many night outs we did at VanArts. Like, yeah, like we used to like work at like during game jams and stuff. And actually, like, it's like really cool, like staying at night at like, overnight in VanArts and working because it's like really peaceful and quiet.
By the
And
way,
you
it's
could
not
just
allowed.
like, yeah, it's illegal, by the way. Don't do it.
No, don't do it. Yeah, you didn't
Don't
hear
do-
that. You didn't hear that. Yeah.
We didn't say it. You didn't hear it.
You should go at 12. Mhm.
Yeah.
12 o'clock, go home.
I mean, the problem is we didn't have a PC at home. That's why. But like that actually solved itself when the pandemic happened and the PCs were at home.
Wow,
We're like, all right, time to go home now.
cool. How have you all, you think, grown as artists? Like what is the one thing that you kind of think that, you know, as a creative person,
I
at the
think we
beginning
all
of the
have
year, the end of the year, like what was the one thing that changed the most?
I think like for me, it will be how to work with a team, basically how to coordinate with everyone.
Uh-huh.
And also I learned Unreal, so that was a new avenue for me to how to make a game, basically how to integrate everything, how to communicate with people. That was what
You can't be a lone wolf, basically.
Mhm.
But again, the people in VanArts won't let you. Because they'll always like pull you into some kind of, do you want to do this together? Do you want to do stuff together? Like, and it's not just from your class, even from other disciplines.
Right.
The acting students are really active. They're like going around, like just making friends and stuff like that.
Yep.
Yeah, those are the actors. That's
Yeah.
true. Not the web students. The web students are very quiet.
Yeah,
So-
I've never seen one web student at our
Me neither.
You think of it, not goddamn.
VanArts students are really quiet, but they're always like typing and doing something. They're all in the room all the time. Yeah.
That animation, camera, crew, VFX, but yeah, no websters.
Yeah, no, never seen a web.
Web students are like Bigfoot. It's a
Well, they're on the
cave.
fifth floor, too. They're on the
Even VFX is downstairs, right? We still met them.
Cool.
Yeah.
All right. There was another question in the chat from Sri about the recommended specs for a PC to take up if you're taking this course online. So I can certainly email that to you, Sri. We have that information, the specs that we're recommending from our IT department. So if you email me at ken@vanarts.com, I have that info. I can get that from our IT department. And particularly if you sign up to the program, if you apply to VanArts and you're taking the program online or blended, whichever way you want to do it, we would give you that information in terms of what you would need. Which is a good segue into, if anyone else has any other questions at all for our team here, go ahead and type it into the chat now as we wrap things up. I wanted to talk a little bit about, like how you actually apply to VanArts. So if any of you guys who are watching, if you are thinking of applying to the school, you want to do the game art and design program, and and this project was a very unique project in that these 4 students, decided to do a VR project together. But other of your classmates that you guys graduated with, some of them just did their own individual reel. I think there might have been some other group. Were there other group projects? I know you did another one in term 3, but I think you 4 were the only one that actually did a group for your final, right?
Yeah, it was just us. Yeah.
Everyone else just did their own individual demo reel, which is good.
Oh, very good.
Yeah. So in terms of how to apply to VanArts, just really quickly, our start dates are in March and September every year. So the next start date, of course, is March 2021 or September 2021. If you're thinking of applying, it's pretty straightforward. You start your application online. Unless if you're in Vancouver and you want to come into the school, you can set that up with our admissions department. You can start your application in person as well. The next is you submit all the required admissions materials, which I'll show in the next slide. We get back to you within a week and then send you your acceptance letter. And it's pretty straightforward. You guys survived. You guys came in and out the other end, so you're fine. Not that hard. Again, these are just the admissions materials you would need to submit. You know, your English test scores, if you are an ESL student, transcripts, proof of age, a resume, a letter of intent. We want to make sure that you're in the right program. So a short one-page letter of intent about what your career goals are, why you want to take this program, and then a 12-piece portfolio. And I'll paste a few links into the chat, which kind of show you like the portfolio and what the kind of things we want to see in a portfolio and the guidelines we have for that. So there's a couple other questions that came in. Do you have any other future plans in mind? Which is actually good. I was going to ask you guys, what are your
for the project or personally?
The four of you.
Both?
Yeah.
Well, on the project, as we were saying, we are keep working on it.
Right.
We're still working on it. So we want to make this like a real thing in life. So we want to create something that we can come to investors and have investment to keep working on it.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so basically those are the plans for the project. I don't know if they have like a personal future plan.
If you guys see Coliseum in E3 sometime in the future, you know where it started from.
Yeah, exactly.
Did you guys do this on Kickstarter?
Not yet. It's a plan. It's part of the plan.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good. And there's another question. Can you learn all of this stuff on YouTube, or is that a myth?
That's an interesting question.
No, because I don't think you can learn everything on YouTube, because there's a moment when we used to do that, right? At the beginning, you learn to a certain point. Then you need someone to help you to give that step up, and keep going more, and do better projects and take things to the next level.
So about environment, like how you interact with people, and how, because when you see people working, you basically have like your own drive. You see people, you see like, you know, that's cool, I want to do that too. And there was like, you know, how would you do that? The interactions between people, they basically try to, you know, you enhance yourself when you interact with people.
Actually, I mean, yeah, like building on like what my friend said, like like it's kind of a myth, because you cannot learn everything. Again, it's the relationships you build, the contacts you make and stuff like that. Because if I learned whatever like from YouTube, I wouldn't have the job I have now in a game studio, because my professor got that for me, and I wouldn't have built that connection if I hadn't joined VanArts, or I wouldn't have met these people, their family and all of those stuff. And like learning also, there were so many times when you need somebody, again, as Arthur told, to step it up. Because if I have something in my head, for example, if I'm developing concept art, and if I have doubts, I'll directly go to Vicky. I'll be like, oh, like, I don't know, like I have this, what do you feel about it? And she'll give me like constructive criticism on like, oh, this, and like vice versa. You can't do that in YouTube. Like,
yeah,
it's very one way YouTube, because you just learn and that's it. There is no back and forth.
Yeah.
You need someone to push you, and you get that going to school.
Game art is an industry that you should have a team. You cannot do a game by your own, like not in 1 year.
Hard.
Yeah, it's really hard to do it. At the end, the school is not giving to you just the knowledge. It's giving to you all the friends, all the knowledge, all the connections, and at the end of the term 4, you will have not just the connections of your classmate, you will have the connection for all the GATs. We have a Discord channel, and we're all there. So if you have any question at the end, or you have any issue, you could put it there, and someone maybe got 20 will help you. So it's not about the knowledge, it's about the connections.
It's also about knowledge.
It's about the knowledge,
Club,
yeah.
We don't talk about GAD Club. It's a secret Discord group. You'll only unlock after you finish the program.
You will not tell me anywhere.
Yes. Yeah.
Illuminati.
There's another question. Do you have any tips for simulating VR functionalities in demo videos?
I don't know what that means.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I'm not understanding the question.
Me neither.
So Victor, maybe clarify that a little bit? Simulating VR functionalities.
I do. So
Okay.
what I was trying to say that is because you guys have said later on that because of the deadlines, you just have to make a video showing the functionalities of the mechanics, but you didn't have time to implement it. Like you have to create like this fake version. So I would like to understand more of it. Like how did you guys
So
do
by
it?
implementing, we
Yeah,
mean just the environment and stuff like that.
Yeah, because actually we had all the mechanics like working. So the only thing that we, as Vicky said, we cheated on, it was mainly the environment because, yeah, mostly because the rest of the mechanics, the networking, everything was working. So yeah.
Maybe I can answer. We did a storyboard for all the scenes, and then just match the scenes we took without playing, with Giri just running here and there, and then the shoots we did in the VR, but we were white, so the computer runs very good, and then just edit everything like a normal video.
It's more of a cinematic experience, basically.
Yeah, more yeah, that's a better way to put it. It's more like a cinematic, yeah.
The thing is, because the VR couldn't handle all the textures and the graphics, that when we tried to do it with just the VR, it wouldn't work. And if we wanted to do it, we had to do it with the wires, and we
I
couldn't
should put
get
in a better way. It was just not optimized. We didn't have time to optimize it. That's it. So we didn't have time to optimize it. Yeah.
Because I don't think it had that much capability, the VR.
Yeah, exactly. We didn't optimize it. Yeah, that's it. But if we have, I mean, of course, we can now go back, sit and revisit how all of the assets are from the making of assets to optimize it before it even gets into the engine. It would have gone through like so many hoops and
we have to go from scratch actually for that.
Yeah.
As we don't have time to do our own assets, we use assets for the Unreal library. So they are pretty expensive. They have a like 4K texture.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's why we should cheating the trailer, just because we don't have the backpack to put all in there and use it like property.
Yeah.
It's like imagine it's too many assets and things that it's a bit volatile.
And the very pretty huge.
And also the thing is, when everything, the processing power the system needs is what is too much for VR to handle.
For the Quest to handle. Right?
For the Quest to handle.
For the Quest to handle, yes.
Yeah. Got it. Thanks.
Welcome.
No problem. Great.
Hey Ken, before we sign off here, I was reminded I have to mention about the scholarship offer.
Oh,
that's
sure.
happening for March 2021. So I was told yesterday by our admissions team that they released some scholarships for the next intake at March 2021. So anybody who's interested in game art and for coming in for March 2021, if you submit your application within the next 24 hours, mention that you went to the webinar about Project Coliseum and you're approved and you can come in for March 2021, there's a scholarship waiting of between $1,500 and $2,500 off. So they have more of the details about that, but they said go ahead and mention it, and they released some stuff, and they want to get some good game art students that are aspiring into the program for March, and it's 2,500 beans minimum that you could save. I guess, or 1,500, and I guess the 2,500. I don't know what you have to do. Maybe a special dance video or something. I don't know, but ask them about that. So just letting you know.
Oh, and then scholarships
there is scholarships. What they do is they release scholarships in steps, and they do it for the next intake. So if you were interested in 2022, I would guess come back a year from now. Like that would be the time where they would release the first wave of them. So yeah.
Any admissions questions, you can certainly send them to, I'll just in the chat room as well. I pasted a couple links in the chat to all of our admission requirements, our portfolio tips page as well, which is really important for you guys to look at. And then admissions@vanarts.com will take you straight to the admissions department. So if you're looking to get started, if this has excited you and you're thinking that this is where you really want to be, you want to be part of a team, you want to be part of either an online classroom like this, or a in-person classroom, or a mix of the two together, where you get to meet other people who are like you and people from all over the world that come to VanArts and basically take these ideas that they have, funnel them into something like a demo reel to get noticed by the industry. That's what VanArts is all about. That's what we're here to do. So
if you have more questions or stuff, you can if you have any more questions about the project, or if you not talk about video games or in general, just hop into the Discord server, pop your question. We'd be more than happy to answer it. I play Valorant every day, so yeah, you can join me too. Perfect way to get it out there. Like, there you go. Like, you want a Valorant buddy? I'm there.
There you go. Cool. Well, thanks a lot, you guys.
Yeah, good questions from the crowd. Want to thank our 4 VanArts alumni for joining us tonight and for making an awesome project. It was really exciting to actually get to formally interview you guys and learn more about your project. So thank you very much for carving out some time and sharing it with the group. And we look forward to seeing this at E3, as Giri said.
Yeah, thank you so much for having us. It was a lot of fun doing the project, and thank you also to VanArts, because they helped us a lot.
I can't even count how many times VanArts has like pulled us out of a hunch, like I don't know the word, like out of a problem.
Well, let us know how we can help out in the future. If it turns out you guys need some space for stuff, let us know, man. Like we'll work something out. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Great.
Okay.
All right. Thanks, you guys. And thanks, everyone, for joining us. Email these guys, reach out, keep the dialogue going, and hope to see the rest of you all here at VanArts in the future. So.
Nice.
Awesome. All the best, guys. Bye-bye.
Okay.
Thank you.
Great.
Bye-bye.
Take care, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.